Hello, frugal friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing our weekly word, and we're going to be reading Genesis 22, okay? And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and split the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went on to the place of which God had told him. Then on the third day, that sounds familiar to us, the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife. And as they went both of them together, and Isaac spoke unto Abraham his father and said, My father? And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for the burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Now that makes me wonder, when Abraham says that, did he believe that God was going to, he said he would provide the lamb. So did he believe that God was going to provide the lamb, or had already provided the lamb? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you can tell me exactly what Abraham was thinking at that moment. And they came to a place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took out the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up as the burnt offering instead of his son. So God did provide the offering, the burnt offering. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself I have sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Thank you, Lord. So I am so grateful that, we are not in the Old Testament, right? We are not in Genesis, where God is going to test us by asking us to sacrifice someone we love. And we all know how everything went with Abraham to get Isaac. So we're thankful for that. But God does provide. He provides. Sometimes it's not exactly the way I would want it to go, but God knows more than me. But he always provides. He always makes a way or a way out. And that's who he is. He is Jehovah Jireh. So thank you guys for joining me today. And as always, you guys be blessed.